Hello, and welcome to your next lesson. Today we will be discussing the EDate function. This function will allow you to calculate future dates based on the date given. We will also factor in the DatedIF feature that we learned in previous lessons during this series. Please open the Date and Time workbook and go to the EDate tab to follow along in this lesson. The following illustration is an example of the functions we will review today. The EDate feature will add or subtract months to an existing date to return a value to the user. We will take this opportunity to factor in additional DatedIF features. As you may recall, the Y function returns the number of years. We will be introducing the YM and the MD feature. The YM ignores the years but returns the number of months. The MD ignores months and will return the number of days. We will combine these formulas to return the number of years, months, and days for our countdown retirement. So now that we have determined the retirement date for each employee, I would like to do a formula to determine the countdown. The formula on your screen represents the formula we'll be using for Carol and Jane. This is actually 3 combined formulas. Each will return a separate value. Each formula calculates the difference between today's date and the retirement date. Formula number 1 will return the number of years. Formula number 2 will return the number of months. And formula number 3 will return the number of days. Each formula is separated by the and sign to allow us to string the formulas together. The years, months, and dates are in quotations, and these basically represent your labels. These can be changed to whatever you would like them to say. I plan to copy and paste the formula for Carol Jane. Below is the output of what the formula will return for Carol. Once I have completed this step, I will simply do an autofill for the rest of the team. So here we are on our spreadsheet, and I have added some data for us to work with. This data reflects our audit and inventory schedule. We will conduct an audit or reorder the inventory every 90 days following the first date. So let's go ahead and select cell D7 and type equal. Let's go ahead and type EDate. Let's place an opening parenthesis and select cell C7. Let's place a comma and let's go ahead and place the number 3 and close it out and say enter. Okay, so the first audit schedule will be January 1st, 2021. 3 months following will be April 1st, 2021. Now from here, I can absolutely do an autofill because I do not need an absolute reference, nor do I need a mixed reference. I need this to calculate every 3 months, and so I should be able to autofill and still get the correct information. Let's go ahead and select cell D7. Let's get our black hover cross and let's drag it to cell E7 and F7. Okay, so based on the autofill, my next date is July 1st, 2021. 3 months following that will be October 1st, 2021. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to go ahead and do an autofill. Let's select cell D7. Let's drag it over to F7. Let's go ahead and get our black cross mode and let's go ahead and drag it all the way down. Okay, so now you can see that my schedule is full. I have an audited inventory planned out for the year well into 2022. Now if I want to make adjustments and still keep this on the every 3 month schedule, I can simply change the opening date. I can take office supplies and I can make that February instead of March. And you will see the inventory for my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th date change because it's based on the 1st. So let's go ahead and say enter. And as you can see, that information has been updated. Let's do the same for coffee supplies. Let's change March 25th to June 25th. And as you can see, we went from March 25th to June 25th. The 2nd date now reflects September. 3rd date reflects December. And the 4th date reflects March. Okay, so now with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our next lesson. So here we have a list of people who are near retirement age. We would like to determine exactly what will be their retirement date. Then we'll determine how many years, months, and days they have left to retire. Okay, so I would like to begin with Carol Jane. Carol was born January 20, 1965. We need to calculate her retirement date. Let's select cell J7 and let's go ahead and place an equal sign. Let's go ahead and type EDate. Let's place an opening parenthesis and let's go ahead and select Carol's birthday. Let's place a comma. Next, I would like to go 12 times 62, which is Carol's retirement age. Let's place a closing parenthesis and let's go ahead and say enter. Okay, so as you can see, Carol will be able to retire on January 20th, 2027. All right, let's do the same for Dave Ross. Dave was born February 5th, 1966. Let's go ahead and type equal and type EDate inside of cell J8. Let's place an opening parenthesis and let's go ahead and select Dave's birthday. Let's place a comma. Again, we're going to say 12 times 62, which is retirement age. Let's place a closing parenthesis and let's go ahead and say enter. Okay, so it looks like Dave will be able to retire on February 5th, 2028. Now let's do the same for Michael, but let's have Michael retire at 65. He wants to push it a little bit further out. So let's go ahead and say equal. Let's go ahead and type EDate. Let's place an opening parenthesis. Let's go ahead and select Michael's birthday. Let's place a comma. And this time we're going to say 12 times 65. Let's go ahead and place a closing parenthesis. And let's go ahead and say enter. Okay. So it looks like Michael will be retiring in 2025 if he decides to work until the age of 65. Let's do an autofill for Frank, Thomas, and Sydney based on Michael's calculation. Let's go ahead and select cell J9. Let's get the black cross hover and let's go ahead and drag it all the way down. So Frank will be retiring in 2021. Thomas Smith will be retiring in 2025. And Sydney Bowe will retire in 2030. Okay, so that's our retirement schedule. So next, I'm going to determine exactly how many years, months, and days each individual have into their retirement date. I'm going to do this by using the DatedIF feature, but this will be a combined formula. So now that we have determined the retirement date for each employee, I would like to do a formula to determine the countdown. The formula on your screen represents the formula we'll be using for Carol and Jane. This is actually 3 combined formulas. Each will return a separate value. Each formula calculates the difference between today's date and the retirement date. Formula number 1 will return the number of years. Formula number 2 will return the number of months. And formula number 3 will return the number of days. Each formula is separated by the and sign to allow us to string the formulas together. The years, months, and dates are in quotations, and these basically represent your labels. These can be changed to whatever you would like them to say. I plan to copy and paste the formula for Carol Jane. Below is the output of what the formula will return for Carol. Once I have completed this step, I will simply do an autofill for the rest of the team. Okay, so here we are back on our spreadsheet, and I am ready to paste my information for Carol Jane. I'm going to select case 7. I'm going to do a right click, and I'm going to simply say paste. And as you can see, as indicated in our illustration, Carol has 6 years, 0 months, and 25 days to retirement. We're going to go ahead and do an autofill for the rest of the team. Let's go ahead and select case 7. Let's hover to get our black cross, and let's simply drag it all the way down. Okay, so as you can see, for Michael Jones, he has 4 years, 4 months, and 0 days to retirement. Frank Williams only has 8 months and 15 days to retirement. And Sydney Bowe has 9 years, 0 months, and 6 days to retirement. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the lesson. Please refer to the section reference information to continue to get familiar with these features. Congrats! You have completed another video. I am very proud of you and the progress that you are making. You are doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing you in our next level up lesson video.